Hello, everyone. Welcome to the third episode of our podcast series where we bring together people who are shaping sports, gaming, like investment ecosystem, and more. In our earlier conversations, we explored the stories of investment perspective shaping the sports business ecosystem. Today, we take this conversation one step further towards the founders themselves. Sitting with idea, building your first product, generating your first revenues, or preparing to raise your next round, there are some fundamental. So, when should you raise the fund, or how much you should raise, and or what do investors look out for, and when should you approach an angel investor, and how do you move from early traction to the scale, and what role can accelerator and governments play in this journey? And when we bring this into the world of sport tech gaming and the whole ecosystem as a whole, there are even more questions around scalability, technology, market size, the market access, and the role the ecosystem plays. To help us decode this, Rathnakar Samavedam, the managing partner of Hyderabad Angels, someone who has looked at startups from the other side of the table and understands makes a company investable. So today we are going to go from idea to investment and from investment to scale. This is an interesting discussion, and please hold on your seats. And we have kept this platform open for you to ask the question to interact with our guest today. Before we start, I would also request everyone to subscribe to our YouTube channel, 360D Sport, for live podcasts every Wednesday and Saturday, and recorded videos of all our podcasts, which are available on our channel. We are putting our efforts to bring investors, startups, industry experts, brands, leagues, and business owners to discuss, share, and interact about the sports, fitness, and gaming. Let's get started for today. So, welcome Rathnakar to our third and a great pleasure. I know you personally, but it's a great pleasure. I know your journey. So let's start about your background to the audience, where you started, where all did you work, and how did you end up with Hyderabad Angels?
Yeah, thank you. See, one of the key thing that passionate me from early stage is how to look at finance problem because my father is a chartered accountant and we used to discuss at home some of the finance problems in the world that interested me to complete CA and also did company secretary because one of the key thing for many organization is what kind of instruments, what kind of activities a company has to do when they're raising a large base of capital or a debt from the institutions because that plays a bigger role. A proprietorship concern or a regular partnership concern is not treated as a large organization. They are treated as a mom and pop stores. That interested me why I have to do CS. And post which I studied MBA also. One of the question came from many people is, Rathnakar, do you understand marketing? Do you understand other dynamics of operations? So one of the question I asked some of the mentors, they said, Rathnakar, MBA can address some of your problem like marketing, branding, operations, which we generally don't see in regular CA or CS world in terms of accounts, finance, or a compliance portion is concerned. That's how I did my MBA and post which my first challenge I joined is Spencer's Retail way back in 2002 where there was an interesting question. Ratnagar, one of the biggest problem we are trying to understand is filferage. Filferage is the goods which will come doesn't get sold. Is it something you can solve? So my first success came when we brought down filferage from 2.5% to 0.3%. That is a huge savings on 80 crores, a saving of around 1.6 crores for the organization. They paid a good question. And I moved to ICICI Bank. There I have to fund many of the SMEs at the time. There are no startups way back in 2005. I was able to fund many companies in their growth journey where debt was playing a key important role based on the cash flow. So one of the key thing I learned in ICICI Bank is return on capital employed. How do you deliver better returns with low capital employed? And many, because you're all coming into the startup world, it is little different compared to what. But as you're growing beyond Series B, return on capital employed plays a bigger role. You guys have to work as us understand better how it has to be taken care. And post which, since I learned early stages of my career in retail, second was with bank. Then I moved into an IT company, God given gift. We raised private equity, whatever I learned in MBA, whatever I learned in CA, we were able to apply, work very closely with founder. We were working on two objectives. How do I scale organization, getting required funding at right time? Second is how do I improve the EBITDA? Even a company which is doing 1500 crores of top line, even if I can save 0.2%, that is a 30 crores saving to the organization, right? At the end of the day. That's an objective. We were looking at every angle where I can bring the savings to the organization. And I was luckily successful. We were able to acquire companies, integrate, grow the organization, and finally give an exit to private equity and came out. That's what that. And good or bad, accidentally landed in Hyderabad Angels almost for last 9 years, looking into startups. The problems remain the same. As you all look at, every problem has a solution. Nothing is impossible in this world. And these problems are opportunities. But one thing always, money will come with greed. Please understand, if the problem is too large, scalable, VCs will chase you. If problem is too small, very niche, VCs may not chase you, but you can build a good product. If somebody feels as the potential acquisition opportunity, they acquire. So most of us, we fund those organizations which are scalable in nature, not which are very niche in nature. So it's only the market will tell how things will go about. This is the brief background what we are, Karthik, as on today.
Wonderful, wonderful. I know you personally, Rathnakar. I know your journey and everything. This is more for the audience, but yeah. So we are here to discuss about the sports. I think we had enough conversations. We both have been speaking so much about the sports tech, and the innovation around the sports, whatever is happening. So let's get started something regarding the sports, and I want you to share your knowledge, your experience for the audience about the early stage, the idea stage startups, the early revenue stage startups, and so I'm going to come up with multiple questions, and let's make it a very good, healthy discussion for the audience. So let's get started. And sports has always been a popular, like very popular in India. It could be cricket or any other sport, but nowadays we have been seeing a sudden change where people are talking about the sport tech and everything. So how do you see this as a greater opportunity?
Yeah, I think one of the things, Karthik, we both know, our most influencer person in this country is PM. And PM has a greater vision saying that our nation has a greater opportunity because prior to 200, 300, or 400 years back, where India was not ruled by Muslims or English people, we had great sports enthusiastic, great wrestlers in the country, and they created a large name and something that has been lost over a period of time because the cultures and the way they treated that slavery effects whatever is there, and it took 70 years. Today we are 80 years completed recently, we all know. And he felt that now India can show to the world because adoption of AI has really created enormous opportunities because today a talent at grassroots level has to be recognized. Around 10 years back, we don't know. People have to search. We have seen movie Peddi, right? Where he goes and try to search where is the talent here. But with AI coming in and recordings happening, information is available. We feel now it is a great opportunity to build sports beyond cricket. India is known as a cricketing nation, but what government is looking is we can build sports beyond cricket with this grassroots opportunities what we can bring. And we have seen badminton taking the next international success for us. You all know PV Sindhu or Saina Nehwal, who has created a big name for India, and with the help of Gopichand Economy and Gopichand Garu, Arjuna Awardee, badminton definitely created a wonderful opportunity, and they started giving medals. Suppose that you all know wrestling, we are doing extremely well. But other aspects where we're really missing is athletes, kabaddi, basketball, table tennis, swimming, and other aspects where there are large number of medal opportunities are there. We are really missing, and I feel it is the right opportunity for sports venues, sports infrastructure, grassroots level identification of the people. There is a enormous opportunity, Karthik. I think people working on this side definitely has a great opportunity. And one thing you all know today, we are all speaking about Skyroot success as a space tech success, and Modi is
Yes,
propagating. Please remember, Skyroot, Dhruva Space, Manastu Space, Ashur, whatever you are naming today, they all started 8 years back. And me and Karthik were constantly discussing some of the companies which are starting today. After 5, 6 years, they say they are the big names in the Indian ecosystem is concerned. And definitely, we as a VC and angel, we have to support. And Karthik knowledge about sports and running the 360-degree sports, and many people starting VC. It's a great opportunity, Karthik. I feel people have to look at sports very seriously, start their work right now. 5 years from now, they will see a great returns, both for country, both for local talent, and as a VCs, we also start making money out of this ecosystem.
very true. Very true. Yeah. I'm coming across so many startup ideas every day. Like so many startups are pitching to me, and I see a great change in the whole ecosystem in last 3 4 years now, Ratnakar, and there is quite a bit of a ideation which is coming up, and the startups are trying to solve problems in sports. I think that itself is a very big thing, and everyone are coming up with different objectives. Could be the same for the athletes or for the ecosystem, but the approach, what each startup is coming up with, is entirely different. I think that is a very big change in India. It's all about the startups making revenue. I think, as you mentioned, it's going to take a little while, but yeah, we're going to see a great change in the whole ecosystem. Yeah.
Right.
Other question, like for you, you've been an investor, listening to so many ideas every day, meeting so many people, so many startups and founders. So usually for you, what is the difference between a great idea or an investable startup? How do you differentiate that?
Okay, thank you that question, because every day the same question comes to me. Two things generally people will address, Karthik, sorry. Two things a lot of startups are addressing is what is the painful problem they're trying to address? Is customers are adopting it. That's the 2 points. Many startups are trying to be, they come back, they explain, Ratnakar, this is the problem. I'm saying customers are reactive, they are trying to adopt. So the third question we ask is customers are really paying. We found around 70% of the startups are not seen a paying customer. That is one thing which many VCs or angels are shying away after the overall change in the startup ecosystem. And fourth thing which we are looking is competitive advantage. Every person is saying we have when you compare with competitors, I have so and so, so and so, so and so. In sports tech, Karthik, you remember right in sports how people will move from 100th position to first position, or second, or third, or fourth. What is that key thing that will push this particular startup to move from 100th position to top 10 companies in India? We ask this question, okay, you have a competitive advantage. Is really this is the mover for you? And we ask, is it a repeatable business? Is it a scalable business? It should repeat, it is also should scale. And finally, recently, you know, Karthik very well, after change in COVID, profitability has become. So the question came is, how are you going to be a profitable business, and how large the profit can look like at what level? I don't know. This is a very interesting question. Many VCs, At Series B and our asking, though our conversation is not there, but from when I'm looking from seed to Series A to Series B, where we see exits, valuation coming in, this question they're asking Ratnakar, is it a profitable business? How large the profit would like? Because we all know US never were they were discussing at $1 billion companies. Now it is $1 trillion companies, and India is still at $1 billion company. I think Reliance is at 160 or $170 billion today. When do we
And
see that $1 trillion
yeah,
day?
yeah.
So the question came is how large profit, how large you can go is one of the points they wanted to rethink it. It's not a question to start a founders, it is a question to is how much money we have to invest to see that the scale is happening so large in next 5 to 8 years.
Very
These
true,
are the points,
absolutely.
Karthik. We generally
And
look at
usually,
first.
like,
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, you can get it. Yeah, no, no, you go ahead.
Yeah, these are the questions generally we are asking startups trying to assess. Then only we are jumping into the bandwagon to invest. So, point
Mm,
well
mm.
taken, Karthik. Painful problem, paying customer, repeat usage, scalable distribution, technology advantage, and large market and large customer base. This is what the startup becomes successful. Otherwise, it is very difficult for a company to move on to 100 to 1 in the game. It is very, very difficult for us at the end of the day.
I understand that. Yeah, yeah. So usually, like, see, I think I have a follow-up question on this exactly like what you mentioned. But if you are investing into a sports startup, uh, where would you put your money in? Like, is it the sport tech, fitness, grassroots sports, or infrastructure, fan engagement? And why do you want to put, like, I just wanted to understand your perspective about where and why do you want to put money, and how do you see the whole thing shaping up now?
So, Karthik, you are well aware, cricket is a well-defined business. It has become a billion-dollar business. Recently, acquisition of RCB or other sports in IPL has shown the path, and many of the corporates started coming. But when it come to other sports where we really wanted to see big thing happening, the first and foremost thing the country has to build is sports infrastructure and operating system. Means technology for academics, leagues, tournament, and facilities. This is the first thing we all have to invest. We have to build this sports infrastructure and operating. Without this, other things will become irrelevant because that is plays a bigger role for all of us, right? We all agree on that actually, and that is the
Yeah,
rippling
yeah,
effect where you see 1,000 crores sports startup for the country. 3, 4 companies will come. So the first investments we are looking at sport infrastructure and operating system. Second, because of the AI, computer vision, variables coming in, analytics coming in, AI coaching has coming in, the athlete performance related startups are going to prepare a bigger role now because each of the person who becomes a celebrity with that particular AI or variable or a computer vision is going to create a big name in the market. Third is
right.
grassroots
Yeah,
sports. I think we are looking at grassroots. The initial conversation I said, like in Petty movie, that a lot of people are looking at millions of athletes who are not working very professionally but getting recorded. In that, if you all remember, Sport What is one of the long tail sports which are able to raise Series A, right? That's one of the key thing that is helping many of them to observe these upcoming athletes and they can start using athlete performance. For them, sports infrastructure and operating system will play. The other smaller angle area is sports commerce, like equipment, apparel, nutrition, and specialized distributive branch. I think this is one interesting area we have to look at, Karthik, who can build and make it more convenient. Today it is more commoditized, more scattered, who can bring that more specific sports D2C brands and apparel. They are internationally available. Something we can create from India is one thing which we are observing. And finally, whether you look at US, you look at UK, you look at Australia, fan economy plays a bigger role. Content, communities, commerce,
yeah,
experience, and engagement. These are the things which are going to do. So these 5 areas we are looking. First is sports infrastructure and operating system. Second is athlete performance. third grassroots sports, fourth is sports commerce, and fifth is fan economy. This is where the entire sports ecosystem has been done. Each one will go step by step, and each one will create that 5 to 7 years larger impact.
Nice. And it's a follow-up question for what you told. Like, is India seriously a sport tech nation, I would say, or is it like only excited about the IPL or cricket or whatever is happening around that?
Okay, India has two problems. One is most of the sports, leaving cricket, is not digitalized, Karthik. So digital sports identity is one of the key
Hmm.
things which people have to develop. So a lot of people are saying there is one interesting question runs in Israel. The invisible athlete. Who is that guy? Who is the talent which I have to bring? For example, if you look at India, whether any 14 years, 15 years, that's what we both are discussing at early stage because the body can be structured, they can be trained. Will they come from Kochi? Will they come from Jaipur? Will they come from small city where we can identify and bring, and other things will follow what we are looking at. That's what India is seriously looking today. Digitalization and identifying an invisible athlete is one of the key things India has to account. But the talent for sports is much larger. There is no need to be bothered at all. That's what we are all seeing actually.
I understand that. Yeah, yeah, very true. And also when been talking about grassroots, I think from our like the start of the conversation, and can seriously like grassroots sports become a large commercial opportunity in India, or will it always remain a dependent on sponsorship or government support? How do you see this?
So, as we discussed, many nations, not only as Karthik, many nations has India has no shortage of athletes, technology talent, or sporting passion. What is missing today is bridge between them. And one of the key things they need
Correct.
money. And government of India under CSR guidelines, because all the top corporates has to keep 2% of their profit towards CSR activities. Under CSR guidelines, they specifically created certain grants and funds to be allocated to build athlete for Olympics. And we have seen many NGOs grants. They are starting this Olympic-based athletic program. I think Karthik, you and I know JSW is one of the core flank who is coming and supporting. Previously, Ajim Premji Tata also supported to a larger extent. There are few
Yes.
corporates are coming
Yes.
forward. I think that money, I think maybe Karthik and some of us along with the government has to work and pull out that CSR money because now BSC 50 companies, the average profit to look in a yearly basis is around 13 lakhs crores or 15 lakhs crores. Even the 2% of that is around 5,000 to 6,000 crores of money. Why can't we take 1,000 crores every year? I was asking many people, I think, Karthik, we also had a discussion how to pull out this money and use to build this grassroots talent because we have an opportunity to get these athletes. We have an engineers who understand technologies. We have investors who understand capital. We have large sports audiences. It has been proved, right? Our kabaddi play has done well. Football, Sachin and everybody has invited, and there is a good number of people who are watching football. All this has to be talented out. That's what we are looking. There is a great opportunity for India and corporates looking at us, but somebody has to work to pull out this entire intelligence money and bring it under one roof. And I can say, Karthik, I think I'll ask you a question. You're working with Telangana government to bring all this under one roof. What has been your experiences and how is the encouragement from the local government and also through our corporate or communities?
So for me, Rathnakar, I think it's an interesting discussion here. When it comes to grassroots, I'll start with grassroots because Indian grassroots is very, very, very strong compared to the like the whole set of things what is happening in the urban thing. Because in the grassroots, like almost like 80% of the athletes are coming from the grassroots and very talented. And the spend is usually the spend is very less compared to the urban, but the volume is so huge, and acceptance, because these kids are really smart in the grassroots, and any kind of an acceptance, I think it takes a little while. Once they accept, I think India is super fast in, because we have seen that with the digital payments, the evolving technology on the digital front and everything. I think we have seen that. I think even the banking system and other things, so many other things, Instagram and other things, whatever is happening, acceptance is super big. So I feel any kind of an innovation and technology in the grassroots always will be a progress. And when it comes to your question about the Telangana government is working. I think this time they're working very extensively in every set of our like Sports Authority of Telangana. It could be, or anything regarding the grassroots. I think like so many activities are happening on the grassroots, and even our CM is actively trying to push the sports university or the grassroots initiatives, tying up with FIFA, AFF, setting up an academy here, organizing something like an hockey world championship or any other leagues coming up. I think things are shaping up very big way in India today, as on today. And I think my collaboration with Telangana government is more about setting up the sports accelerator, which is going to start very soon, where we are going to incubate startups. We are going to help them with the funding, market access into Telangana government to start with. And now we have a longer plan where we want to create a kind of a ecosystem for the sports tech and innovation side of it. Anyone with an idea just just can come to us. They can incubate with us. They can create the whole idea, develop the whole idea, test it into the grassroots, and take it forward in the larger scale. I think that is shaping up very well for us. It's going to take a little while, next 2 3 months, because
That's the reason I was saying your coordination. You're trying to bring all the things, the athlete, the government, and the
yeah,
tech.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
You're working on
yeah.
bringing the. I was telling
it's a
Karthik,
it's
you're
a
working
huge
on that.
responsibility. Yeah, it's a huge responsibility, but the ecosystem is shaping up very good right now, and the support is also there. I think these things are shaping up, and of course we are in the process of building a fund, and we are in the process of like we announced an accelerator. We are trying to start our first cohort at the accelerator cohort, and everything that is shaping up very well for us. So these things are shaping up, and somewhere down the lane, we see some change coming up. And in December, Telangana is hosting Khelo India Youth Games. That itself is a very big, I would say, one of the good platforms what in the Telangana ecosystem is building. So these things will add up in a big way for the growth of the ecosystem. And somewhere down the lane, I vision to see Hyderabad as a sport tech capital of India. So let's see, like let's hope how things will shape up by then.
Yeah, I think that is the request to all the sports startups to look at you more personally
Yeah,
because you're working on it. And before you ask the question back, I'll ask you. Modi has brought Commonwealth to India. I think that is more
yeah,
exciting. And
yeah,
what is that you
yeah,
are seeing on ground? And all I think entire India is wishing to have the Olympics to come to India. Still, we are waiting to have the final conclusion. But what was the ground feeling, Karthik, when you're traveling beyond Hyderabad, when you're meeting a lot of sports? And you also met recently Virendra Sehwag, Chavala also become a partner with you. What has been their views and how do they see these opportunities? They themselves being a sports person, and what is that encouragement? You look at startups now, sports startups who are watching this particular program. What is that you will try to communicate through their lens because of this Commonwealth and Olympics coming into play beyond cricket? I'm saying
yeah.
not cricket, but cricket.
See, Commonwealth this time, Rathnakar, I think it is more exciting compared to the previous Commonwealth. What has happened? Uh, of course, the contest has become little smaller compared to Olympics. But I think Commonwealth hosting a prestigious event like Commonwealth will add a lot of credibility to India, boost the team, of course, the whole set of sports ecosystem. But this 2030, I see, because recently on the Independence Day, our Prime Minister has mentioned about centralizing the whole sports ecosystem, connecting all the dots with using the technology and innovation. That itself is a very big word, because he wants to centralize all the kids, do the assessments and everything. I think this is an encouraging word, encouraging vision, I would say. Why? Because by 2030, if Commonwealth is happening, already visioning at least 4 to 5 startups from India who are collaborating with the Commonwealth board and implementing their technology and innovation. That is one side of the story. But of course, broadcasting, tourism, the infrastructure development, apparels, equipment, innovation. So many, there is an opportunity for so many things to develop, like even the management side of it, marketing, everything, like the logistics, everything. There is so much of an opportunity for startups to explore about coming up with ideas, ensuring, like, we are trying to build a system where we directly showcase it to the government so that government can choose our startup. So that is what we are trying to work with the government right now. Yeah, it's going to take a little while, but yeah, if we are able to showcase it to the government saying, this startup is pretty good, we want to pull this into Commonwealth, I think that's a very big success story for India to start with. And 2036, India is pitching in for Olympics, and if that is happening, I think it's going to be much more bigger, I think. But yeah, let's see. And when you ask me about how the other markets are growing, pretty big, like pretty beautifully, because I still feel Hyderabad is much behind compared to Bangalore, Delhi, or Mumbai or elsewhere. Even I'm so surprised to see Pune startups are coming up with like some very innovative, very good ideas. I think that is one stream which is building very well. The Pune, Ahmedabad, I think these cities are growing pretty big. Chennai, of course, is a hub for so much technology, because they've been working extensively from years. Bangalore is a startup hub of India. Delhi is the capital, so a lot of things are happening. All the governing bodies, all the decision makers are sitting in Delhi. So if you see as a whole, India is spreading in different ways. I'm speaking to startups from West Bengal, Odisha. I spoke to one startup idea from Assam. I was so excited, it was good, but yeah, a lot of mentorship is required. So Indore, I have seen, I'm listening to ideas from Indore, Bhopal. Like if I start talking, like there are enough startups who are building good ideas and innovations. I think it's going to be huge, and we have clusters like Jalandhar, Meerut, where equipments are built. If we are trying to build a collaboration between those clusters with the startups, where any kind of an equipment innovation can be done, help these equipment manufacturers come up with an innovative equipment. Likewise, Tirpur, we are talking to few apparel companies where any kind of an apparel tech can be developed. We are trying to create a collaboration. So yeah, this is what the work we are doing. And of course, as I said, India now is picking up very well from past 3 years, 4 years. I'm seeing a lot of ideas are coming up, but it's going to take a little while for us.
I think, Karthik, from a startup founders' point of view, who want to take a leap faith in sports area, this is the right inflection point. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
you will have to take the take. People have to look at opportunities, and AI is a great opportunity for them, as we both discussed. I think both our conversations are telling what VCs are looking and what on ground reality is happening where you are working together. I think this is a great synergy, and I request many sports startup founders keep faith, keep patience, continue to grow, and work with us. We're happy to look at funding from our side, and Karthik is happy to bring collaborations, bring everything under roof, government support. All the things are there today. I think it is. I feel it is the right inflection point for startup founders to start, so that 5 to 8 years they themselves one of the celebrities of India in the sports area is concerned.
Very true. Very true. But I have few questions for
Yeah, go ahead.
you,
Go ahead.
because many startups wants to know a lot of things from you, because I'm sure last time when we did Sport Tech Podium, like many startups try to speak to you, they pitched with you. There are startups who has got some good ideas and trying to build something uh, uh, really good, but still they need a lot of guidance and support. So these startups usually come up with ideas like, uh, okay, they are in the initial stage, they are in the starting stage, but their ask is too high. The product is not yet that level where the valuation can be matched with the what they are asking. It's a pre-revenue. So how do you as an investor, when a startup is just coming up with an idea to you, or an MVP stage, I would say, so how do you usually like look into it for them, for you to fund into those startups? How do you actually like value, how do you do the valuation for them? Because this, I'm sure, like you would have answered thousand times, but again, I want you to answer for our startups here, because many startups are definitely looking out for support. Yeah, they are looking out for funding. So I think you will be the right person to answer them these questions.
Agreed, agreed. It's always a chicken and egg story between founder and VC in terms of valuation. One of the key point we look at sports related startup is, does they have a good domain knowledge? Is anybody is coming from sports background? Because sitting outside as a fan watching is different than really on the sports is different. There are many problems on the ground, right? There are many problems on the ground which has to be addressed. That's what we generally look at before investing. Second, how much capital do you need to grow a meaningful large company today? So one of the we think we understand in sports tech is an investment of $10 million over a period of 3 or 4 tranches, but is seed to Series A or a Series B. These companies can build a lot of revenue because the sports is a large opportunity, and CAC is easy. Once you are creating that impact on the ground, the CAC is not going to be very large. It is easy to capture because people will start
Correct.
adopting so fast. That's what we observed today. And so we are looking at AI athlete assessment. For example, AI athlete assessment definitely need deep algorithms, and they need GPUs to be done. These kind of companies have to look for raising $2 million to $5 million at a $10 million to $15 million pre-money. That's what we are looking at. Second is smart wearable. I think you're all looking at Whoop in US or Ultra Human in India, which is tracking all your sports related activities. Because wearables are a far different market. And today from VC World, we looked at they need to raise around 25 to $30 million because the market is too large, and it is going to create a larger impact. We are happy to give the same similar kind of 5 million to $100 million valuation based on what they build it actually. And computer vision coaching, it is what we found with computer vision coaching is it is not very difficult to start. Entry barriers are low. We want somebody to develop and execute it on the ground with a low capital of half a million to $1 million, where we are looking between $2 million to $5 million as a valuation today. Though you all dislike Rathnakar, it is not easy, but CV computer vision is heard from last 5 years, and the overall maturity has been much larger. You have to train your systems to the sports need. Now, the last question me and Karthik is discussing about sports infrastructure. This is going to be a larger capex related, and for them to see a meaningful outcomes because of the capex in nature, we feel they have to raise $100 million over a period of their lifetime. really see the impact. There is a large opportunity. Real estate cost has been very expensive. Sports equipment is becoming expensive day by day. There, we would like to give larger valuations and larger money. Today, we look at Skyroot. Skyroot, technically, it is not to comment. They are not made money, but they have to raise the 200 to $50 million to really launch a rocket. And how do you value that startup, right? The startup valuations are far different there. Same thing we were telling many of our investors, specifically when you are developing sports infrastructure or a sports equipment, we need larger capital. I think Gopichand Academy, since they got the land, even the infrastructure cost would have cost more than 10 to 15 crores. That to one center. If you have to replicate 10 centers
Very
and
true.
create coaching and other thing, you need larger money. This is how we see Karthik, and we wanted to understand
Very
how
true.
founders understood the end commercial game is what we are looking at, especially in these areas.
So do you usually see so there is a initial idea who is like a startup with say MVP coming to you. So what do you see usually? Do you see a roadmap with the growth or the data which they are building or the kind of a revenue they are making? How is it a combination? How exactly do you look out for? Because like they expect they come up with huge valuations, right? So for that I'm asking the question.
So currently we are looking at 3 to 4 years. I said sports infrastructure, athlete development, grassroots sports, coaching. That's one of them. Still, fan engagement we have not gone with as of now. That is the
Yeah,
last. And sports equipment still we are watching who can create the D2C moment for sports. As of now, we are not seeing, but these other three areas we are looking at. So we are looking at founders, engineers, athletes, and advisors. Who is on board? Who is helping this organization, and where is the business connect? And Karthik, if
hmm,
you remember, I requested you since you're bringing everything under you. One is a sports economy, one is the business connect, one is bringing athletes to use that particular product and come with the feedback to make it better. We are looking for somebody who is supporting that. It becomes very, very viable for us to come and invest. One of the key thing we are looking is can they build the same thing with low capital instead of raising a large capital and trying to solve something. That's one of the things which we are looking at. We are not against. We understand this is still at nation stage. It is a movement of Ola, Oyo, which has came into at that time. They raised large money, poured in a lot of money to educate customers, make them understand, make them use. They've given a lot of freebies. Today, I don't need to do. Around 20 years back, what Ola, Flipkart, or the other things I've done today, I don't need to raise that kind of money because customers are well funded. In sports tech, also, we have to do that education to a lot of people to reach out. I think today we need little larger capital, but investors are little shy away today. Overall ecosystem per se and macroeconomic is concerned, but I think they are coming back. They are coming back. They are trying to put larger money. So I can give a confidence. It's only the timing, nothing negative, and you need capital to raise. We are okay to give
very
valuation
true.
because we don't want to become a majority shareholder by putting a lower valuation to you.
And nowadays like data is becoming such an important thing for any startup, right? So it could be the scouting performance or whatever the fan engagement or so do you see that sports data becoming a major investment category for investors to put in money?
Definitely, but how do you use the data and make money is very important. Where
Hmm.
are you making money
Understood.
and what companies will win? How do it is getting utilized? See, monetization of the data is one key thing which we look at. We just don't want to people to create a data. How do you monetize? It is very, very important today. Like for example, you all seen many of you are not aware. If I am starting an ice cream brand which is no sugar, where are the customers buying it? I can't go to every customer, right? In digital world, we can go to a lot of customer base. There are few wellness people who wanted to still have an ice cream. And recently, Karthik, we have seen somebody has created a protein bun. And surprisingly, the protein bun has been
Yes,
purchased by McDonald's, right? McDonald's is bringing that protein buns into all the centers. We feel that is an investable idea because the bun itself has
very
been
true.
accepted, right? Same, we invested in another company called Better Nutrition, where it creates flour and PV Sindhu is managing because she said it is
Mhm.
giving some positive energy to my blood. So we think that that is growing up. So how do you identify and reach out to them is very important. So we are not against Karthik. We are happy to support. But what is the ecosystem under which they are working? Today, sports cannot be worked outside in some facility and trying to build it will never happen. It has to be under one roof today, considering the nation stage at which the sports startups are there today. That's what we are insisting on.
And like usually as an investor, how do you see, do you see a startup or an idea per Indian market, or do you always see this as a global only? You'll invest only if it is a global kind product. How do you see that?
So one of the key thing we are seeing is India has a lot of unsolved problems in Indian sports, and startups has a definitely a big opportunity. We are not saying it is not an opportunity. We are looking India as a sovereign opportunity for them to prove. And what we understand with our investments in space tech, I don't know really today if you all ask how much business is there for space in India. But the question Modi said, PM Guru, is very clear. That we have to create sovereign for India. Other than US and China, there are many third world countries are looking at Africa, Brazil, South America, our Vietnam, Taiwan. They're all looking at India. If something we are bringing, they are automatically getting attracted. Even you'll be surprised, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Burma, Bhutan, Tibet is also coming back for support when you are really rightly building your startup and making the noise in the ecosystem. So our investment thesis today is sovereignty India. Do you see that larger market opportunity? And if you can solve Indian problem, there the third world countries are really looking at. I'm not looking at developed nation like US and China, which is doing well. We are looking for third world countries. They're looking at India on two things: better technology, more acceptable people. The data security is there much larger from us, and they feel very friendly. They feel we are a most friendly nation to the world.
I
That's
know,
what
I know.
even Europe has agreed.
Yeah. And we have been talking so much about sports. I want to cover something about the gaming and esports. I think like Hyderabad Angels invested into one or two gaming startups, if at all I'm not wrong.
Right.
Yeah. What makes the gaming startup investable beyond having the large number of users? So how, I just wanted to understand, because esports is one stream, which is not still grown in India, but there is a greater opportunity. But gaming is one which has been growing in the last 6 7 years now. So
Right.
and so much
Right.
investments are going into the gaming part, but not on the esports front. So I need your views on that part.
So, you know, Karthik, we invested through our fund called Stan, which is a gaming company
Mhm.
who is connecting gamer creator community, and on top of it, they're also creating a monetization. So we call it as a tournament, online tournament based gaming company actually through fan engagement community. This is a, you'll be surprised. I am also surprised to a larger extent. Post ban of real money games, you all know Dream 11 or MPM, which was focusing on cricket as a gaming. When they got banned, surprisingly, a lot of fan base moved to Stan, and it started seeing huge growth on that. That's where we are saying, and this is growing. Definitely, we are seeing the growth is much larger because, for example, Karthik and you are at this stage, we can play game as a passion. Sometimes we want to have the real world
Yeah.
situation in the virtual world. So we are seeing gaming a big opportunity and esports at early stage of the life. My son and my daughter or some of my friends, when they use esports at early stage of starters, their brain is getting tuned when they go to the real world in playing, right? That's where we are seeing,
Mhm.
and esports has been most popular from our early stage. At the time, it was not treated as a startup, but we all used to play for fun. Now there is a great opportunity to monetize because parents are well educated, they have money to spend, and happy to. And we observed the PlayStations, Microsoft P2P, Sony games, they're extremely doing well, extremely doing well. Definitely, there is a great opportunity. We are really looking to invest in the startups if somebody is coming with good idea.
Absolutely, and I think on the esports front, there is a two sides again. One, the competitions. Recently, there was a cricket league esports competition which happened, and quite a bit successful, because a lot of there were franchisee based esports cricket league which happened, and I think more and more leagues has to happen on the esports front, because that's one bigger opportunity for bigger opportunity for lot we see the esports competition happening, and there is a lot of participation happening on at the Asian Games also. I think this is one stream which has to be invested in a larger scale, and I see a greater things happening in the very near future. So yeah, so Ratnakar, we have quite a few questions here, because we are short of time also. Let's jump into these questions and answer one by
Definitely.
one. Yeah, we'll start with Bilal. Bilal said, "So true, Karthik. Hyderabad City will definitely going to be a number one sport tech." Yeah, yeah, that's a whole idea, Bilal. We are trying to make Hyderabad the sport tech capital of India, but a lot of work has to be done. Government is also slowly pushing things, but lot of work has to be done by each and every stakeholder here, not only about organizing the tournaments or running the academies and coaching, but there is a lot of other work which has to be done. This is my view. I may be wrong here, but this is how I see, and that is what I am working to build this ecosystem.
I
Thank
think
you.
our
And
only CM, Karthik, I think Revant Reddy Garu personally played football with
yeah,
Messi to stand as a true identity, I think, on the sports. That's a great opportunity. That's why Hyderabad is pushing
that's
and is also vision for that, actually.
that's a different. And Dave is asking, from investment perspective, do you believe sports industry require patient capital like healthcare, or which industry you compare it with? I think Ratnakar, you should answer this.
No, no, sports today, the sports investment, we are telling many investors on the board, it is a 5 to 7 years horizon. It is not a quick horizon for that because the market is evolving and it is like our e-commerce way back in 2010. I am not saying something like space tech because the customer engagement, athlete engagement, government push, all that is coming to a good thing. And I think that peak will come in Commonwealth when it is happening. Real outcomes are there. And
Very
what we see, short answer is sports infrastructure hardware is going to be 5 to 8 years. Sports tech SaaS and data is going to be again 4 to 6 years. Consumer marketplace and sports commerce is a quick turnaround. That is 2 to 3 years turnaround for investors to do look at. So I think Karthik and me we are focusing on two things: sports infrastructure, deep tech, sports SaaS, and all these things are a patient capital. We are seeing this turnaround will happen at Commonwealth
very true.
2030-32.
Yeah, yeah. Dave is developing something very interesting. I think you would have already seen that a shooting like I would say gadget, where they can it's both for professional and recreational. So yeah, his so yeah, but lot of work has to be still done by Dave. Yeah, about Echo. So do I need a co-founder and team in place before you will back me, or is a serious solo founder enough? Do I need a co-founder? Okay, so he's asking, do they need a co-founder and a team in place, or solo founder is enough?
No, no, solo founder really no for large VCs because most of you are the first time generating and entrepreneurs. Sports tech has not evolved second and third time. Today you are a single first time. And they need definitely two or three co-founders and advisory team comprising of some of this post known people. Maybe Karthik can be one of them, but we want somebody to be on the advisory panel who will support and take this because at the early stage of your career, if you are not dividing your roles very clearly and each working on one area, then only we'll see a positive outcome. Not in Solo founder, definitely no, 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 as on today.
Yeah, but for the thing, I would always suggest um, uh, I, like it's not like I'm trying to cross sell here, but we are in the process of starting a venture studio. I think we can be your co-founders very soon, if you guys are interested. And the same guy is asking how much should I raise at the earlier stage, and what is the fastest way? Founders ways that first check. So Ratnakar,
No, no, it's a, we don't say as a waste, we say as an experimental check. Please rechange your thought. People are happy to put an experimental check today, but very few are there in sports areas concerned. I think Karthik and I have a larger role to increase this base actually, and we have other people, other PCs are also joining hands with Karthik. As Karthik, we will all work. This is an area we all have to put our hands and make dirty to make this happen. And definitely, experimental checks are ranging from 20 lakhs to 2.5 crores. That's what we are looking at. So that if you can come out with the meaningful outcomes, that is going to become a very, very important aspect for us. So the first check should help you to build the product, get customer acceptance. That is what we are looking as a first check intent for you to come back and tell us we have built the product, customer accepted and paid. That's what we are looking with this money here today.
absolutely, absolutely. Shankan8501. Before I ask anyone for money, uh, how do I know my idea is worth building and not just exciting to me?
So Shashank, I think you have to reach out to I think Gopi Chandagaru, Karthik in Hyderabad. There are many other people who are looking at. They understand the problem statement very well because each sports has different problems. Today, I think sports in sports, people getting injured is also a big problem, right? One of the recently our fast bowler was injured and he was not appearing, and it is affecting our outcomes. So injury is also one of the area which people are looking seriously to overcome the problem. I'm telling you, every problem there is a larger market, but you need to understand: is it is a larger market to build? Is there is an MVP? Is there is a paying guy? Is what we are looking at, and you don't need to look at India only. I think Karthik also said we have well wishers and sports enthusiasts coming from UK, Australia,
Absolutely, yeah.
Israel. These are the countries they are looking at India very seriously. And Karthik also had a very good conversations with them, and they said, Ratnakar, we are looking at India very seriously. If any sports enthusiast would like to understand, they're happy to connect on LinkedIn or any other channel to give your answers and tell us whether it is good or not. Their backing will also help VCs for us to invest in you very interestingly.
And for your question, Sankan. So the thing is, if you need a validation of your idea, you can just follow me, connect with me on my LinkedIn. Karthik Yanamandra is my name, and Karthik Y is my LinkedIn ID. You can connect me. You can post your message, and I'm happy to set up a time with you and listen to your idea and validate it and share my thoughts into it. So I can do that. Thank you again.
Karthik, I
Yeah,
want to say we are reaching out to you and Gopi Anna for some of the startups. Is it a large market or not? So I'll tell we are reaching out to Karthik on many occasions, requesting his view on that sports. Is it a real problem? And based on your inputs, our investments are also taking place. Just to putting that point.
sure, sure. Me, Srinivas, what is the single most common reason you say no to founders in the first meeting? That's typical
So
Ratnakar. See?
So one of the biggest challenge with many of the founders, not only in sports, they build the product or they build a solution because they think so. They think so. They never come with the data backed data. Ratnakar, in this given area, we seen many customers having similar problems. And I think my problem will solve the way you start. I think how do you articulate it is very, very important. If you come back and say, I seen in one location this problem I wanted to solve. And many founders also say, in my home, I seen this problem. I seen with three, four problem. I'm requesting many of the founders to do surveys on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagrams. Found is it a real problem? Many people, at least 1,000 people responding to you on the 3, 4 channels, saying that yes, this is a problem. We are very serious. If you come out with a solution, we are happy to buy. That's what we wanted to have a data backed information today.
Absolutely. Nice. Yeah. Okay. So this is a thing to me. Karthik, keen to get your views on Australia India Sports Bridge partnership. Are there genuine commercial opportunities for Australian AI sports technology platforms to engage with local government yet, or is it still too early? Oh, so I'll give a view on this. Yes, Australia, India, uh, the bridge partnership. Even before that, I think Australia has been a good partner with India when it comes to sports tech. Australian startups have been investing their energies into Indian market from past 8, 9, 10 years now. And with this partnership with India and Australia, I think it's a great how the markets are, how the startups are, how the investors are, and we can definitely create a bigger relationships between both the countries and engage these startups in the Indian market, and vice versa. We can engage the Indian startups, and we can do a lot of activities around the sports tech side. It could be the market connect or the investors connect, or the stakeholders connect or anything related to that. I feel the government will be also excited to explore the markets, because I'm personally working with our government, the Telangana government, and I see a greater opportunity which is going to be created for many sport tech startups who's going to approach the Telangana market and explore the market and trying to create a collaboration. So I'm happy to discuss on this again. So, Ravi Tella Pragada, my MVP is live and I have just entered the market, but revenue has not yet started. What basis would you still back me?
So, Ravi, I think you have not addressed which sport you are addressing and which market you are looking at. If that particular sports and market currently is good, we are happy to engage with you and invest because we understand market is evolving. They are not paying immediately, but if you see there is a greater opportunity, happy to back you, Ravi. You can reach out to Karthik or to me. We both will discuss and take forward your investment.
Next, Raj Lakshmi, which early numbers do you trust most, and which ones do you founders show off that you believe in? So they are asking which early numbers do you trust and which ones do
No,
you ignore? Is it the
at
projection
pre-seed,
sheet or it?
yeah, at pre-seed and seed level where we look at startup founders is we look at two things. One is the overall business model and what is the GTM strategy they are adopting. If they both are working and the original GTM strategy what they adopted has shown results, that is the execution what we wanted to look at, that's where we would like to back them up. We are not bothered about numbers. We understand even if you say I am going to reach a million customers in a span of 18 months, we will discount by 50%. Even if you achieve 4 lakh customers, if not million customers, we are happy that you have done your job. And currently at sports as an ecosystem, it is so not large. Paying customers are there, but we are happy to back you up at that level actually.
Nice. Satish is asking for a pre-seed startup with limited revenue and early traction, how should founders think about determining a fair valuation? And what
So
factors
Satish,
matters
very
most to invest at the stage?
correct. The most important factor that we look at is how large the market is, how large you can grow. Is it a market for 100 crores? Is it a market for 1,000 crores in a year? And how much money you need to reach there. That's what we look at. And we decide on the valuation because we want founders to hold at Series B once the Series B is done, where you are raising capital for scaling fast. Series B is for money for scaling fast. Series A is continue to repeat your customers and scale it fast. Both are the same, but the scaling is much larger from one geography to many geographies what we look at. So at that level we look at on your money need and valuation and what market looks at. Today if you look into overall market for a general infrastructure play, it takes 2 to 3x of the revenue multiple, but if you have a good profit more than 20%, it may go up 5x of the revenue multiple. That's what we are looking at, Satish. So valuation is not a science, it is an art. It has to be negotiated across the table. There is no science to it, but will add science during our discussion.
Okay. Akhil, if sports tech is truly in the next major growth opportunity in India, why haven't we yet seen a sport tech startup create the same level of economic value and defensibility that we have seen in fintech or SaaS? What are the fundamentally okay? You want to answer this, Rathnakar? Even I have an answer for this.
Yeah, I'll put the point. You also added, you
Yeah,
know
yeah,
better.
yeah.
So many parents today they feel investing their son time and also their money is much larger. Education is cheaper for them. What I understand with many fathers and parents when I've spoken, because I started working with Karthik almost 2 years from now, and I was discussing with many of my friends, forget about outside, including me. If I want to send my son for a tennis play, my average investment on coach and equipment all put together is around 56, 60,000, and every month I have to spend 20 to 25,000 on the sports. And many parents are not ready to do that. And I think some of the startups are trying to democratize using AI and other virtual tools. But we still felt sports need on ground coaching. The tools are the facilitator. Without coaching, sports cannot entrust themselves. And that's one thing still India has to go through a long way, but opportunities are too large. And today we are at a very nascent stage. It is not equipped as vast as you see in Zomato or you see in Paytm. Paytm also slogged initial 5 years until unless demonetization happened, then only it picked up. Otherwise, who was using Paytm prior to that? It is more difficult market to do. And because of demonetization, because of GST, the exploration of the e-commerce has went up. Otherwise, startup were slogging to run across the country. I think government has done a fairly decent job, but the sports out of 140 crores population, not even 1 crore population has a capacity to invest the 25, 30,000 on the coach. That is one of the key thing which is troubling us actually today. But we will see that is improving in coming 3 to 5 years, and we see there is an opportunity. That's why I said it is a patient capital, not a quick returns like fintech or a SaaS. Karthik,
Absolutely.
any
I
point
think,
other than
yeah, yeah. I think you answered what I was about to answer because Akhil, like for your question, sports is a patient market, and there is a greater opportunity from where we have seen sports and where it is heading right now. A lot of things are changing. Of course, a lot of work has to be done in every level, and India is a price sensitive market when it comes to pricing. When it and specifically for the sports, I think India is not yet ready to put in that big money into buying a product. They are ready to buy a jersey, shoes, or whatever it is, but putting that money for a technology where they just get a say assessment is happening, they get a progress report or video analytics or something like that. People are not putting money into the assessments like few streams. For example, broadcasting is going pretty big like fan code or other sports vote and other platforms. People are ready to spend money because they are getting entertained. But when it comes to self development like assessments or analytics or anything, that is where people are not still putting the money. Something like Crick Heroes, which is a cricket ecosystem app where scoring plays one of the key roles. They are happy. People are happy using the scoring app for free of cost. But when extra services are required, that is when people are backing up. So the mindset is one key thing. Why, for your question, why sports is not yet growing that big? It's a changing mindset which is taking a little time, and it will definitely happen, and people are going to put a lot of money. So it's a patience game. Wait, probably next 3, 4, 5 years, I see a greater things happening in sport tech side. Uh,
Thank you.
there is okay.
Thank you.
There is one more question. The technology. Okay. It's by Cosmic Palu. So, given your experience, how do you think about the operations problem in India, grassroots sports market? The market is highly fragmented, and organization it is almost as important as building the technology itself. We are seeing tech companies struggling when they underestimate the operational layer. As founders, what would you prioritize to make Rotary scalable without becoming an operations heavy business? I think, Ratnakar, this is the big question. You need to answer this.
No, no, the initial teething problems are there definitely, and you cannot avoid operational problem. That's one of the thing we said. We have to bring invisible athlete, which we don't know who is the athlete. We have to bring government. We have to bring coaching centers under one roof. That's one of the thing Karthik is trying to do. Beyond one roof, different sports, different athletes, different venues. I know Karthik is running around to manage this, and GMR also, they also started investing, and recent Inadu Group also invested in sports. Right, you're all seeing this is happening right now. It's a right momentum. Operations you can't avoid. Continue to hold on that. Maybe after 5 to 7 years, we see that is going to overcome the operational issue and the system will automatically run. Anything, yeah. If you remember the early days of cable TV, early days of computer, early days of everything gone through their own phase. Without operational license, nobody has built the startup. No sector has been changed over a period of time. So we have to continue to have. So definitely, this is going to be initially operational heavy. It will consume good amount of money, but happy to support and see that India is changing and our sovereignty is maintained. Only we need to have one more moment, like for deep tech, they have RDA moment. For semiconductor, there is a semiconductor fund of 1.3 lakhs crores. I'm expecting Karthik and rest of the governments are trying hard to get a fund, at least a 10,000 crores fund for sports tech. It is completely changing the sports ecosystem in India.
Absolutely. That would be my last question. Before, like that, someone commented saying, I don't know who it is. We built digital ecosystem for the sports industry, connecting athletes, coaches, academies, institutions, sports organizations, brand companies, and CSR partners on one platform. We enable these stakeholders to discover, connect, collaborate, and transact with each other. Our platform monetizes through subscription, SaaS. Okay. Our vision is to become a digital network and transactional layer to the entire sports ecosystem. Wonderful. I think these things are very much required. But my whole thing is, how are they implementing? How are they reaching out to people, the larger crowd, and how are they enabling things with these guys and ensuring the revenues are also coming in place? This is one of the
No, no, Karthik,
challenges.
ask this guy to reach out to both of us. Let us
Yes,
understand.
yes,
It's a good opportunity.
absolutely.
We can use this thing and grow on it. Actually, guy, thank you
Very
for putting the message, and we both are happy to connect and take forward conversation. And Karthik will help you to connect on other areas. I will try to support whatever we can do on the fundraise is concerned.
wonderful. Thank you, thank you. So my last question, Ratnakar, before we closing, are we going to see 1,000 crores, like a unicorn, I would say, from sports in India?
Yeah, definitely. What is the prediction from the overall industry is concerned is in sports tech in a span of 5 years, we are going to see at least 10 unicorns coming in from India. There is a big opportunity here. It is not a small opportunity. India is a high paying customer. It has been proven. But currently it is a hard game. Definitely it's a hard game and more money is needed on the ground. But we have less number of investors who are believing because they are looking at other opportunities where they can make quick bucks. You know, in the current world, the money will have greed and people will move to those locations where they can make quick bucks. And this is the patient capital. And I think people started believing on it, and people like Karthik and myself have to work how to bring CSR funds, put as a grants, grow these organizations, and show to the world India can create world class unicorns from India on the sports sector is concerned. Our belief is there, definitely there is a larger belief on sports related startups in India. That's right, Karthik. Thank you. Karthik, you're there. Thank you. Okay.